Kia ora folks, welcome to my channel. My name's Matt and today I'm going to be making a George Nelson inspired bench. I need a bench to go with the picture frame doormat thing that I made in my last project, so a bench it is. I actually think this one turned out pretty well. That's my humble opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So let's get on and make this thing. Not much of a measure up for this job. I'm going to use a particular type of pallet. I have a heap of them, so it seems like a good choice. They are quite short little pallets. They're only like 680mm long, so that'll be the approximate length of the bench. I want it to be comfortable to sit on while you're putting your shoes on, taking your shoes on and off. So about 415, 420mm high, I think we'll go with. And the width will be about 300mm because that's what I can fit through my planer. And yeah, it still makes a comfortable little bench. So I think that's about right. Material prep's just the usual. Obviously I've already pulled the pallets apart and denailed them. I just need to clean them up, make sure there's no rock dust or pebbles or any missed nails or staples and stuff like that. I recently switched to using these resin fiber discs for the angle grinder. I used to use a flapper disc, but they didn't last terribly long. They get gummed up really quickly. And these resin fiber ones seem to work really well. So that's a good upgrade in the process. It just gets the boards kind of nice and clean and flat and ready to go for the next process. Yeah, just do the same thing. All of the slats and the stretchers, and that's it. Only 2 pieces of raw material for this job. First up, I'm going to edge joint all of the slats to give us a nice reference edge to start with. So now our boards are reasonably smooth, debris free, and have one straight edge. So that's that step done. And then we'll rip them straight down to 40mm on the table saw. The 40mm will end up being the thickness of the bench seat. So that seemed like a good size, nice and chunky, but not too big. From each slat, I was able to get 2 strips for the seat and a skinny piece for kindling. It's been a bit cold here in New Zealand, so that kindling almost as useful as the seat. Nah, jokes. Not true. Seat's great. Now we have a lovely pile of parallel parts and pieces. Next up, I used the jointing jig to straighten one edge on all of the stretchers for the legs. Minimum cleanup, and then I also did a minimum cleanup on the other side to tidy them up a bit. Let them be as thick as they are. I don't really care how thick the legs are. I think they end up being just shy of 100mm. Again, nice and chunky, but I think they look pretty good in the end. And there you have it. Beautiful outdoor bench. All right, a bit more work to do. What did I put eat? What you doing? That's it for ripping on the table saw. Next we'll get Bumblebee out and plane these guys to their final thickness. I don't really care how thick either of them are, the legs or the slats. Again, I just rather that the wood be part of the table rather than be sawdust. So whatever thicknesses they end up being is the thickness that they end up being. Somewhere around 10, 15mm is good for the slats. And I think the legs ended up being just shy of 30mm. So yep, still on that chunky theme. There we are, all done with the milling. Bumblebees packed away. It never ceases to amaze me that you can turn this into this. Look how neat and tidy they are. It's time for some cross-cutting, folks, and this is where it gets real fancy. Rather than just stick the slats together into one thick, heavy chunk, I'm going to space them out with some little spaces. Each row is going to have 3 spaces, and there are varying lengths to give us a bit of a pattern. So I need, I think, a bunch at 100 mil, a bunch at 90 mil, a bunch at 80, 70 and 60 mil. And yeah, you'll see how that all comes together in the pattern as we move forward. This is also a great opportunity to sort through your boards and use up the ones with knots and holes and voids and stuff, because you can cut them out when you're making your spaces. And the final bit of milling for the slats that make up the seat top is just to trim them to length, not that length. Just used a clamp to hold the pieces together so that I could cut them all at once on the crosscut sled. And yeah, neat little trick. I think that worked out pretty well. They're all the perfect length. Well, the perfect length. They are all exactly the same length. Next process, we're going to cross cut the legs. We set the blade angle on the table saw to 8 degrees. If you're measuring from the tabletop, set as 0, and you're setting up the angle finder on the blade as I've shown here, that's 82 degrees. So yeah, 8 on one side, 82 on the other gives you 90 degrees. From there, you cut the isosceles trapezoids, and all that means is the top will be 300 mil and the sides angle towards each other, and the legs are parallelograms. So just make the legs 300 mil long and make sure that the ends are parallel. And the bottom is another isosceles trapezoid. It's really easy, right? Have a look. For each leg, I need 3 300s and 1 220. So I'll try to get 2 300s and 1 120 out of each piece. But I also need to trim up the ends and avoid knots and stuff. So we'll see how we go. I've got plenty of material, I think, for this one bench, but we'll use as little material as we can. Let's go. There we go. This is all of the parts for one leg. Let's see if we can put them together and make something that makes sense. So parallel at the top. Sorry, not parallel at the top. Then 2 parallel sides like that, and then the not parallel bottom like that. You can see I've cut it too long, so when everything's nicely lined up, I just need to tidy up that bit and we're all good. I just need to cut the other end, otherwise the bench will be really wonky. And before you know it, 2 lovely sets of legs. So we'll figure out how to drill some holes in the ends at the correct angle, and we can set about putting these guys together. We'll kick off the joinery by gluing up the top. Just lay out the pattern and then whack the parts in our handy dandy panel making jig. If you haven't made yourself one of those, there's a video linked below on how to do just that. Fantastic jig, makes this sort of thing really easy. So yeah, do yourself a favor and check that out. Just as a side note, I added a center line down across all of the parts, the spaces that go down the middle and all of the slats, just so I could eyeball the pattern in the middle. And that's it for the top. We'll trim it up a bit in the finishing process, but yeah, that's the basic structure of it. So onto the legs. I'm going to need to drill holes down from the top and bottom to insert some screws. So to do that, I'm going to need a 8-degree wedge. I need to make a wedge so that I can get the angles right on my holes over on the drill press. And I grabbed this piece of scrap, and I know it's 231 mil long. And I said to GPT, if I want to create an 8-degree wedge, what is my short measurement on this block? And in seconds it tells me that it's 29.9 thereabouts. That to me is just amazing. So quick and easy and accurate. Now I've just got to cut my wedge, and I know it's going to be right. All right, so I made a wedge with an 8-degree angle on it. That means that I can drill holes that are parallel to the ends. To put these things together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill those holes kind of halfway through the top and bottom, and then glue up the ends and whack some screws in the holes to clamp everything together. Then once they're dry, I'll take those screws out, hand drill those holes deeper so they go through into the legs, and then I'll drive some dowels in there so there's no metal left in there. Nice, solid, super strong legs for this bench. Before we could even get on to the super fun painting bit, we still needed to trim up the ends of the top, run it through the planer, and of course do a whole bunch of sanding. Not to mention chamferization. All right, so I did 3 coats of Dulux Weather Shield on the legs and 3 coats of the gold poly from Bondell. That's a marine grade outdoor poly, so that should last for donkeys. And yeah, just sticking with the dark legs and the light top from our inspiration. I think it's come up fairly well. What do you guys think? So here we are with the reveal. It's yeah, time for the beauty shots. I'm not really confident with beauty shots yet, but it's another skill I'm gonna have to learn, so I've given it a crack. What do you reckon? I think the bench turned out really well. I'm very pleased. It's all made out of pallet wood. It's solid. Yeah, all the things that I hoped it would be. So yeah, if you've come this far and you like it, give us a thumbs up. Have a think about clicking that subscribe button, and stay tuned for the next episode coming soon. Cheers, guys. See ya.